Good morning. Welcome to Bedhead and Breakthroughs. Come for the bedhead, stay for the breakthroughs. I am Debbie Burns. Oh my gosh, it's so early. I teach soul magic. Like, what am I doing here? I teach soul magic to unicorns, leading you back to radical self love and immense creation power. And today we're talking about getting it right. It was so funny. I was watching a movie with Joe, and we're watching Space Sweepers, which I believe is a Korean movie on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But spoiler alert, I am going to tell you the ending in just a second. So, watching this movie, really interesting space, all these things happening. I actually don't have to tell you much of it. I'm just going to tell you the end. So if you don't want to know, plug your ears. La la la. So at the end of this space sweeper movie, it's all about like this company that's trying to create like a living environment off of Earth over on Mars, and there's this big bad guy that is willing to do anything to protect this idea of building sustainable life on Mars. All the rich people are already living in some kind of like bubble in space. He's trying to build it on Mars. And in the process, he's even willing to kill the entire population that's still living on the planet Earth. So instead of rehabilitating Earth, he's using the technology that someone else developed to build life on Mars. And at the end of the movie, um, our our good guys are trying to like save the planet, save the people they love, and he comes after them because he thinks that they have something that he really, really wants. And at the end, they surprise him with, we don't have what you want. We have a bomb. And in the end, the last shot of him that I thought was so interesting is like the bomb is going off and the glass is coming past his face. And he says this phrase that I thought just blew my mind. He goes, "But I did everything right." Like, so I love the writers who did this, that this bad guy who the whole time is like thinking he's above everything else and thinking that he's creating this pure society and thinking that he has the right to decide who is greedy and who is good and who is pure and who isn't, at the very, very end is like, but I did everything right. And that hit me. That hit me, and I wanted to share it with you guys here because I think that happens to us sometimes, that we go into the things that we do, what I call our sacred creation. We go into the things that we do and we think that success is guaranteed if we just do everything right. That the secret to everything, unlocking everything we want in this universe, is getting it right. And in our defense, it's not our fault. I'm sure most of us, at least the people that I've talked to, have been raised with that idea that if you're going to do something, do it right the first time. And this idea, if we can get it right the first time, then everything's going to line up, everything's going to work out, everything's going to be beautiful. But the reality is that it's not. You can get every single thing, quote unquote, right. Do all the right things in all the right ways in all the right places and still end up without the success or the results that you desire. It is possible. Why? Because getting it right doesn't always lead to our greatest good. Getting it right just ends up with getting it right. That is the reward you get for getting it right. And at the end of the day, who gets to decide what actually right is? Who gets to decide that the right way to do a live stream is walking around outside or sitting in here behind a computer or using microphones or not using microphones? It doesn't matter about getting it right. What matters is making it meaningful. That's what we want to focus on, is making it meaningful, so that the things that we do, that we're taking inspired action, that we're taking meaningful action, that we're always looking at who we're trying to serve and why we're serving them and why we want to do what we do, so that we're always in alignment with what brings us our greatest joy. It's not about getting it right. And that was one of the saddest things about this particular character, that because of things that he experienced in his childhood, he was looking for some kind of element of perfection and cleanliness so that he could live out some fantasy of success. And if he had just taken a step back, everything that he wanted could have been had if he looked at what would be the most meaningful. He could have had Earth and Mars. He could have been that high, like he puts himself up, man. There's a scene where he's like hologramming himself to people, and you're like, oh, like God complex much? But seriously, people would have looked at him as this type of God figure if he had been able to save Earth and save Mars. But he was too caught up in getting it right, but I did everything right. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So my invitation to you, I'll call it invitation, is to let go of trying to get it right. That whole get it right the first time or don't do it all, that is only going to lead to stalling you out, because getting it right the first time, you haven't done it before. How are you supposed to get it right if you haven't done it before? Oh my gosh. If we all followed that mantra, if children even understood that, nobody would be walking right now. Nobody. We've been sitting on our asses still as adults, because we're going to fall down when we try to do something for the first time. We're going to get it wrong or make mistakes because we haven't ever done it before. So instead of leaning in to get it right, because we think that's going to lead to success, again, I'm going to say, make it meaningful. Because when we make it meaningful, regardless of what the results are on the other side, regardless of it succeeding or not succeeding the way that we imagined it would happen, something powerful will happen. And in approaching it from that perspective, when everything falls to shit, because at some point it will, unless you figured out how to control 7 other billion people on this planet, I don't think you have, something will go wrong. Great leaders, according to John C. Maxwell and 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, great leaders plan on failure. They plan on it. They know something is going to go wrong. So instead of getting it right, instead of being the villain, okay, think about it this way. Instead of being the villain of your story, be the hero. Be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to get it wrong. Be willing to take the steps that matter, that you feel inspired to do, and allow yourself to enjoy that messy, insane process that is creation. Because creation isn't paint by numbers. It's not a series of steps that if you get it just right, everything is going to work out. It's messy and it's chaotic and it's beautiful and it's powerful when we lean into meaning over getting it right. So there's my spiel for today. There's the conversation. If you haven't seen Space Sweepers on Netflix, I highly recommend it. Know that you will be reading some subtitles, but it's amazing. Anyway, if you like sci-fi, it's amazing. So have a beautiful rest of your day. I'm off to take Joe to the dentist. That's going to be exciting. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Same glitter time, same glitter channel. Just know I'm giving you a heads up now that Thursday I'm going to be traveling. So no bedhead and breakthroughs on Thursday or the following Monday, but otherwise I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye. Let's see. This one right here. Boop.